Hello my baby gorillas, and I'm on Princess Street with a whole bunch of ladies and gentlemen originally from Hong Kong, and obviously there's been big things that have been happening in Hong Kong just now, and we're wanting to find out from the people from Hong Kong what's actually happening. Obviously the Chinese, the Communist Party in China are now wanting to extradite people from Hong Kong to China, and I think that's what this is about, isn't it, guys? So what's your name, my friend?
I'm Marcus.
Marcus, nice to meet you, Marcus.
Hello, I'm Young.
Young?
Yeah.
That's nice.
I'm Andrew.
Andrew, nice to meet you. My best friend is from Hong Kong. When I was growing up, his name was Chi Lau, his brother was called Chi Lau, his other brother was called Chi Lau. Sorry, three brothers. So guys, do you want to just tell me a wee bit about what is actually happening? We've seen the protest.
Yep.
People are being extradited from Hong Kong to the mainland. Is that what's happening just now?
Okay, so people have not yet been extradited right now from mainland to Hong Kong, but there is this proposal, put forward by the government, with hope to arrange the extradition agreement so that criminal could be extradited from Hong Kong to China. People in Hong Kong are mainly concerned with it because we were afraid that it may be excused in the future for political prosecution to take place from Hong Kong for the Chinese government. So therefore, actually 2 million people in Hong Kong took to the street today, as we speak right now in Hong Kong. So we Hong Kong students studying abroad, especially in Scotland, feel like we could at least do something to let the world know about this, and also to support our brother and sister back home in Hong Kong. So that's why group of students and also a lot of residents Hong Kong resident that has long been living in Scotland, also supporting this movement. Well, I think that in general, the Hong Kong community, given that 2 million people actually took to the street, that's almost a quarter of the entire population who actually went out to the street. So I guess there's a very clear guidance as to what the public opinion is back home in Hong Kong.
Well, I mean, I personally think that Scotland should look to Hong Kong and Singapore as economic models. Because you guys have done such a great job over there, you've strengthened trade. But I think now it's very interesting as well with the Chinese Communist Party seems to be embracing capitalism and Adam Smith as well now, although they're retaining their authoritarian communist credentials by actually retaining the one-party system just now. Hopefully, I mean, because all you guys are really clever. As I said, my friend was an architect, my other friend was a doctor. They were all very clever. All my friends from Hong Kong. And really, I think once the one-party system goes in China, really that China will take off, and that might alleviate what is happening just now with the authoritarianism under the Communist Party. Is that what's? Is that about right?
I think that's exactly what's happening. Hong Kong seems to be for a very long time a quite liberal part of China. So no one can deny its position as the front line between what we call the liberal values and the authoritarian values of the world. So I guess Western countries, especially places like Scotland and Britain, do have an obligation to look into it, because you couldn't just talk about the warfare against authoritarianism while actually neglecting what's exactly happening just in the territory of China.
And may I one point, actually UK signed a joint declaration with China which promised one country, two systems for 50 years. But this law actually violates one country, two systems, because it means that Chinese law is implemented in Hong Kong, which is again the joint declaration. So the UK, the MP has an obligation to
enforce it and keep that 50 years. Was it better under the British or was it better under the Chinese?
Well, I guess we are in constant progress. So in different time we do look for different things.
Very much
back then when there's handover, we look for a future maybe under the Chinese government. While right now as things develop for 20 years, we do hope there would be further progress being made. So it's really hard to think when it's good to be a colony or is it good to be part of China. I think both of which Hong Kong has to uphold its unique identity. And in particular, when we talk about the MP, Hong Kong seems to be a very unnoticeable part. But one of the very potential candidates who is going to be the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom is actually born in Hong Kong. So Rory Stewart.
Rory Stewart
is actually from Hong Kong. So
right.
I don't think it's fair to say Hong Kong do not kind of occupy an important position in the discussion of British politics.
Yeah, very much so, and I mean, I can't wait to go over to Hong Kong. It looks absolutely fantastic. I guess the issue is will China actually democratise? And I think if China democratises and gets a multi-party system, and they're embracing capitalism, and also the Chinese are very industrious and they've done some tremendous things, that if they embrace a multi-system or a democracy, then that was going to really change the whole dynamics for you guys as well, isn't it?
Indeed.
But whether or not that's going to happen.
We can't speak on behalf of the Chinese government or anything. We're just speaking out for what's happening to Hong Kong, because Hong Kong has always had that
anonymity.
Yeah, exactly, which is being destroyed right now by the Chinese government. So that's what we're here for.
And I'm actually going down to speak to the guys just now for Extinction Rebellion, or whatever it's called, I think, which are the environmentalists.
Yeah.
And just now, obviously, in China, because they're growing so fast and it's getting, because they've now become capitalist, there's obviously environmental issues that are actually happening from China as well. And it's really, I think, obviously, there has to be some sort of cooperation there to actually help in China with these environmental issues that's happening from the rapid growth as well. So that's another potential issue there as well, isn't it?
I think they're all kind of interrelated.
Very much so.
Like for example, the civil liberty that we're talking about and the freedom of expression would inevitably concern a lot of environmental groups back in China. Like, should they be opposed to any particular government policy, whether they would have the right and the space to actually speak up and act upon those requests. So I do think you can't just ask for particular progress, like for example on the environmental side, without looking into the political side of things.
Yeah.
So we do believe in the future, the Chinese government would, according to its own pace, move to work on more democratic progress. But for now, as we can only speak for Hong Kong students, Hong Kong people, we do hope that they will come and we'll try whatever that is to preserve our identity for now.
Well, we're all glad you're here. We think you're all fantastic. We love it, and we love I love the Chinese as well, as well as other people from the Far East as well. Great bunch. They've all got their own unique cultures and ways of doing things. But I mean, I think for the Chinese Communist Party now to reject the economics of Marx and to embrace Adam Smith and capitalism as well. Really, since that, they've really gone on for leaps and bounds. But obviously, and as you rightly pointed out, the environmental issues are obviously an issue as well.
I guess how it actually changes path indicate a really good point of how there's no particular doctrine that shall last forever.
That's right.
So as we progress, we'll see what actually works best for the relationship between Hong Kong and China.
Yeah.
And upon we do wish a harmonious relationship, of course.
Yeah.
And if such should be actualized, we would be happy and welcome. But as for now, we do hope that our voice can be heard, by the British community. We do hope to stand in solidarity with the 2 million people who actually took to the streets today.
That's great. And is there anything you want to tell us that we don't know? Is there anything that you guys know, obviously,